In this module, we'll cover the basics of navigating within a project. We'll look at the project ribbon, we'll navigate to the Backstage, and we'll even go into the Quick Access Toolbar. Like other Office applications, Microsoft Project uses the ribbon to provide easy access to common commands and settings. With time, you'll become familiar with where certain commands are as you're navigating around within the application. The first thing that you'll notice is that the ribbon is organized into common areas of interest like tasks, resources, reporting, and others. For example, if I'm in the Task tab, you'll notice that there are specific commands related to doing things like indenting tasks, or linking, or tracking tasks like marking tasks complete, or even scrolling to a particular task within the timeline. You'll also find that you have tabs like the Resource tab that allows you to assign resources to tasks. And then you have tabs like the Report tab, which allows you to generate reports. You also have some tabs like this Tools tab, and in this case you'll notice it says Gantt chart tools, and then underneath it has format. Well, this will change based on where you are. So for example, if I click on the View tab, and we'll learn more about views as we work through this course, and I click on the timeline underneath the split view, you'll notice that if I click in the timeline that the format timeline tools changes. And if I click on format, it then shows me very specific commands related to working with the timeline. If I click out of that area down into my Gantt chart, notice that it changes yet again. And I'll go back to the view to turn that off. The Backstage is an important area to become familiar with because this is where you will be essentially setting up the configuration settings for the application. You'll find the Backstage in the File menu. So far left-hand side, if I click on File, you'll notice that it opens up what is considered to be the Backstage. And you'll see this throughout the different Office applications that you'll be working with. Some of the things that you'll do here within the Backstage will be setting up some of the default options, for example. So many of you will set things to auto-save, for example. So if I'm in the Backstage and I click into the options area, you'll notice that there's a save category. And within save is the ability for me to set something like an auto-save. What I can also do if I come into schedule, for example, is set a lot of the default options around how tasks are managed. Many of you will like to change the way tasks, when they are created, to be set to a very specific mode. In this case, this is set to the auto schedule mode when new tasks are created. So this is where I would handle that. This is also where, and I'll go back to into the Backstage, where we will set up things like accounts. So when you are connecting to Project Server, for example, or Project Online, this is where you will manage the account or the profile for that particular application. In this case, it's for managing Project Web App accounts. This is also where you can share the file. So again, in the Backstage, if I click on Share, you'll notice there's the ability for me to sync with SharePoint, for example. So that connectivity is going to be found in the Backstage. Now, the other area that you will want to become familiar with is the Quick Access Toolbar. And we'll spend more time with the Quick Access Toolbar when we get into the customization module, but it's worth looking at here because we're talking about commands. And so the Quick Access Toolbar, which is located in the top portion of the application window, has, as the name implies, some quick access to common commands. And so if I want to print very quickly or maybe go into a particular view, I can simply select it here from the Quick Access Toolbar. You'll notice there's a little drop down. It says Customize the Quick Access Toolbar. If I click on that, it opens up and it shows me the current commands that are checked are the ones that are listed, and I can just easily open or enable one of the other one of the other commands here. So I could turn these off and on very easily based on what I need to do and what I'm working with.